Welcome into our midweek connection. I am coming to you a little bit early, so this is a pre-recorded. I hope that's okay with all of you. A little pre-recorded because I have a very important meeting this evening, tonight, around the real estate project that we're working on for First Unity Spiritual Campus. So I did not want to miss being with all of you, though, this evening to share with you just a few thoughts. I won't hold you for very long, but I wanted to share a few things that are kind of just running around in my head, and something that I have been working on within my own self for the last several weeks. I have been looking at what I would consider to be 7 phases, could possibly be looked at as phases of awakening, because there's a lot of talk about awakening in our world. There's a lot of talk about this waking up process and folks being woke and all of those things, you know. So I was asking myself and really considering the last, especially for me, the last 25 years of my life. And in those 25 years, I've had tremendous awakening after awakening. And it has not been easy. In fact, it's been quite challenging. And change can be very challenging. So when you're somebody like me who has always been somewhat analytical, always been very engaged in my inner self, even as a young boy, when you have been steeped in, and when I say steeped in, that's really the best terminology, the brewing of the tea of my life was religion and a certain way to see the world. And it was very driven into me. I was very much indoctrinated. So to have to awaken from that it shook me, it shook every part of my being. And so now I measure awakening different than I did, though. You know, when I first started, in my personal view, waking up, I was really kind of angry. And then after I got over the anger, I became very charismatic about spreading this gospel of this new inclusion that I had experienced. And I wanted to sort of get everybody saved from religion. And so I became very zealous around that. And now I have a different measuring stick, I think, within myself around what it is to wake up and to become an awakened soul. And so I wanted to share with you some of those thoughts. And I don't know if we'll be able to cover it all today, or if we'll need to come back to some of this next week. But I wanted to share where my heart has been, and as I got to thinking about meeting with you all this evening, this is what popped out. So this is, to me, what happens when somebody really wakes up. Not necessarily escapes religious fundamentalism or dogma, but when they really wake up, when there's an internal awakening, there's something that transpires, and I believe it's measured by these things. Number one, as you begin to expand and you fully awaken to your true, authentic self, creativity comes alive. See, when we're steeped in a dogma, creativity is unnecessary, because this is just the way it is. But as soon as you're able to free yourself from the prison of fundamentalism, you're able to free yourself from the prison of literal, dogmatic religious expression, creativity comes to life. You realize that you become inspired by meticulously crafted pieces. You know, for me, I started to see a journey shaped out of a unique vision for my personal life. I started moving from just existing into a state of innovation and originality. Instead of settling for somebody else's version of the gospel or someone else's interpretation of God, I stopped settling, and instead I came up with this, started seeing the shaping of a unique vision for my life. And for me personally, I began to move into an existence of innovation. I started invoking and evoking that creative and creator presence that is within us all. It's like as soon as I located that divinity started flowing. It started flowing in its natural ability, which is to create, constantly making life work. This creative force that was on the inside of me. I am personally now, determined, and what's the right word? I am maybe you could say obsessed, but certainly preoccupied now with making sure that I free myself from mediocrity. See, I am determined to embrace the endless possibilities of my creativity. As I think about waking up and the phases of waking up, I believe that a part of that process is the creativity that takes place. And in that creativity is where you find the endless possibilities. You start to live limitless. You let go of the limitations. You let go of all of the things that have held you bound and held you in prison. And as you can hear the helicopter flying over, you start to fly above. You transcend what you used to crawl beneath. You start to live at a higher level. You transcend and you transform. God bless it. And you recognize the power of endless possibilities. You begin to embrace that as a part of your own DNA, as a part of your own abilities. Because as you awaken, you realize your interconnectedness to the oneness, your interconnectedness to the source. And you start to realize, man, I really am a resource from the source. And the power of the wind blowing, and the power of the elements around me, I'm connected to it all. But the one who constructed the wind, the one who constructed these trees, the one who flung the sun in place dwells within me. And that creativity is also within me. And then for me personally, those other phases of awakening, another one is kindness. Like I don't see personal, like for me personally, I don't think that my ability to quote Siddhartha or to quote Jesus or to quote these great teachers and sages throughout time, I don't think that is a measurement of spiritual growth. I think the measurement of spiritual growth really are love and kindness and compassion. But kindness is a big thing because to me, I have chosen to create a strong bond. When I awakened, I immediately felt a strong bond with every living being on the earth. Started to feel deeply connected to everything around me. From the birds, to the ocean, to the mountains, to the trees. There was a sense of awe and a sense of regard. I regard and reverence the planet, whereas I was kind of taught against it before. But now I live in a different way of thinking because this to me is also one of the phases and the faces of waking up. Kindness, showing kindness and compassion is a core part of my identity now. It is a part of my identity. I have ingrained it by way of practice. I have decided to make kindness a daily practice. And I've mentioned to you before that the word kindness is so much stronger than the word niceness to me. In fact, I don't even know if I like to use the word nice anymore because the word kindness to me has this connotation and this definition of I'm kin. I recognize my oneness with the rest of the planet and the rest of the world around me. And so to me, another face of awakening is kindness. Being kind has become now natural to me because I aim to always exhibit this particular trait of divinity in my interactions with other people. Some of you may have heard the story that I told of when I started out to go to visit one of my daughters a couple of weeks ago, and how I ran into beautiful person after beautiful person in these wonderful interactions with people in spite of having to tow my car 3 times and have it worked on at 2 different garages that just happened to be closed before I could get to them, and 2 hotel rooms in 2 cities I didn't plan on visiting. When you wake up though, your interactions start to be a production of kindness, a production of compassion and of love. And so for me, I've strived to embody kindness in all aspects of my life. Am I kind in every single moment? No. But am I striving for that? Yes, because I'm awakened to this as a part of my reality. I go back to the first phase is the creativity. I recognize the Creator's in me, so now I can create the life that I want to live. And then I recognize kindness. And I believe that the Creator is the ultimate kindness. The Tao even says, the Tao is kind to the kind, and it is kind to the unkind, because kindness is its nature. It's not kind because It wants to feel good about itself. So often we're nice because we want to feel good about ourselves, or we want to get points. Or if we work at Chick-fil-A, we want to make sure we get a raise the next quarterly that comes around. Kindness is innate in the one who begins to wake up. So when you start to wake up, start to look for those measures. When you see people who claim to be, first of all, let me say this. If somebody is a great guru or yogi or bodhisattva or some kind of a teacher or spiritual pastor, reverend, a priest or whatever, if there's somebody is seemingly wonderful, you're going to find that within them is the desire to be kind if they are truly an original article. I believe that people who are waking up to their divinity, waking up to being a resource from the source, are going to study war no more. They're going to lean into kindness. And number 3, love. I don't have to stay on this very long because we talk about it all the time. I bring it up all the time. If there's anything that John Scott is probably, hopefully synonymous with now, but maybe seems obsessed about, it is love. Radically inclusive love embraces even hatred. Like light welcomes the darkness instead of destroying it. Love transforms hatred into something valuable. Love can transmute the energy of hatred and even make use of it, believe it or not. Love doesn't condemn or destroy. Love accepts and integrates everything into itself. Love's power lies in the ability to convert darkness into light. We are alchemists. In this way, love is an all-encompassing and powerful force. So people who are really truly waking up in phases and the faces of awakening include creativity, kindness, and love. And number 4, and I think I'll stop here for this evening. Number 4 is beauty. Here's the thing. I believe firmly that when somebody is truly having an awakening, that they're going to notice creativity that's within them because they notice that they are connected irrevocably and eternally to the Creator. So since the Creator is in you, you become creative. But you're also going to, again, study kindness. You're going to choose kindness as a practice, and you're going to choose to know truly what love is. You're going to desire to be a loving individual because every living creature on the planet wants to be loved. The reason for that is because, according to 1 John and 4:8 in the Bible, God is love, and love is therefore God. So then you're going to start to see beauty. I wrote this down the way I felt it when I thought about the word beauty. Every morning I am greeted by the beauty that surrounds me. This beauty is both visible and hidden, waiting for me to discover it. I have learned to appreciate the beauty in everything, even in things that I may not have previously admired. Waking up to this beauty fills me with a sense of wonder and gratitude. I now strive to see and appreciate the beauty in all aspects of life. Yes, I believe one of the phases and the faces of waking up, of living an awakened life, an enlightened life, a truly spiritually mature life, involves being able to see the beauty that surrounds us. Being able to sit and notice the beauty of the flowers, to notice the beauty of the trees, to notice the beauty of the green grass, to notice the beauty of the sounds of the birds and even the sounds of airplanes and helicopters that are flying over right now and being recorded on this video. To notice the beauty of the people around you. To notice and be able to even see past some of the ugly to locate the beautiful. I believe these are aspects of someone who has awakened. That you take the time, you make the time to notice the beautiful world and endeavor to live in it in all of its glory. Now, this is something that I've chosen to practice. I've chosen it as a daily practice. To recognize, utilize, insert and assert the creativity in my life. Practice with a discipline, kindness. Make love the main thing. It is the main focus. And endeavoring to see the beauty. In fact, every morning deciding to be greeted by the beauty that's all around me. I've learned to appreciate beauty in everything, even the things that I may not have previously admired. To be able to even see the beauty in the ugliness of what's taking place in the world, knowing that all things are working together ultimately for our good. To see past the chaos and be able to see the peace that's there. To see the beauty and the love that's all around. The beauty of all of you. As I get a chance to, especially when you comment or when you like, then I get a chance to go look at your profiles and see what's going on in your world, to be able to see your beauty. To see the beauty of this movement, One Love, and a movement I met this last week, some folks from One Light. So here we are, One Light, One Love, First Unity. It's all one. It's all one. Are we seeing that? It's all one. To see the beauty of that, right? To see the value and the gorgeousness of this life. To slow down long enough to recognize it. To be grateful for every breath we take, every sip of water that we get, every taste of food that passes through our lips. Every bark of a dog, every meow of a cat, every song of a bird. Folks, creativity, kindness, love, beauty. Creativity, kindness, love, beauty. Feel it, experience it, know it, be with it. These are just 4 of the phases and faces of waking up. I have 3 more, and I want to share those with you next week. Please continue to pray for First Unity Spiritual Campus. We are in a really massive transition right now. All things are working together for the good. We are definitely in a transitional period, and I know that all things are working together for the good. And I'm just asking you to hold everyone who is a part of this transition. Change can sometimes, and I may talk about this some Sunday, change, challenge, and the changeless, or the challenge of change. Transition sometimes can feel like trouble. Transition can feel troubling, if nothing else. Whether it's trouble or not doesn't matter. It can feel like it's trouble. And change can sometimes create what we feel like we're facing as challenges. But we all know that the changelessness of us is the true self. As Patanjali once said, the only thing that is real is that which changes not. So everything that is changing, you have to know is not ultimate. It's not the absolute. Be able to love it, see the beauty in it too. Remember that in this human expression and experience, that change means you're alive. Look for those beautiful cues and allow yourself to grow through all of that process. So, until next week, creativity, kindness, love, noticing beauty, being able to see beauty. These are all signs that you are waking up or that you're living in an awakened state. Okay, my friends, I hear the music getting started, so I'm going to get up out of here, now go and make it a great evening because you can.